a sign to start the Sarah J. Maas universe. Hi, bookish besties. I have a couple updates for you all, and it involves a one Miss Sarah J. Maas. If you are not familiar with Sarah J. Maas, you should be. We are talking about her upcoming projects. So Sarah J. Maas, she is the author of the pretty well-known series ACOTAR. If anyone's talked to you about smutty fairy books where the men have wings, yeah, baby, this is the OG. Now, I will say a little inside story on myself. One of my best friends convinced me to read these books. I am the kind of person that if you are telling me to do something, I'm just simply not gonna do it. I don't like being controlled. I don't like being told what to do. So when anyone's shoving a book down my gullet, I'm gonna say, no, thank you, next. Until I get to the point where that person stops reminding me, and then it feels like it's my idea, and then I go and I read it, or I do the thing they're wanting me to do, and wow, it's amazing, incredible, and of course, they were right and have all the permission to rub it in my face. And that, my friends, is what happened with ACOTAR. Not that you need to know my entire backstory, but I feel like it's pretty relevant to get into this video topic we're going to dive into. But with ACOTAR, if you haven't read the series yet, or if your friend hasn't read the series yet and you're begging them to, send them this video. Let them know that I too was in their shoes once. There's going to be no spoilers for major plot points in this video, so feel free to send it to your friends and use this as a sign to start the Sarah J. Maas universe. I don't know what that was, but I feel goofy doing it. My disclaimer with A Court of Thorn and Roses, that is the book we were talking about, hence known as ACOTAR. It does take a bit to get into. Part 3 is where it picks up, and it took me about 6 months to get to part 3. And once I got to part 3, I finished it in one evening. And then I finished the next book, and then 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 the next series. So it really just becomes a domino effect. And truly, I would love anyone who hasn't completed the Maasverse to watch this video, get influenced to finish the current updated Maasverse so we can talk about her upcoming projects, okay? My recommended reading order would be to start with A Court of Thorn and Roses series. Go through that as published. So, Of Corn and Thorn and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin. Read the little holiday Hallmark special, A Court of Frost and Starlight. Go in it with whimsy, you guys. It is some of the best, just whimsical holiday special fanfic writing, okay? Okay. A Court of Silver Flames, which is Nesta's POV. So we switch main characters for anyone who might not like Feyre. I've heard some things. If Feyre's not your favorite POV, that's okay. We don't get her the entire time. And that is where we are currently caught up for ACOTAR. So let's stick a pin in that. Next, you're going to hop on over to Miss Throne of Glass. Throne of Glass is Sarah J. Maas's actual first series. If you don't know the lore, she started writing this book when she was essentially 16 years old. She'd come up with the story of Selena, who was an assassin, and she was a badass. The story eventually evolved, and about 10 years later, she had taken the narrative, fixed a couple of things, and created a fantastic fantasy series saga. The best, in my personal opinion. I read a lot, and nothing can top Throne of Glass for me. But you start. This is my personal reading opinion. This is where, hate on me in the comments, but I'd love to know what your TOG, what we're gonna call it, reading order is, which is Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Assassin's Blade, the prequel, into Queen of Shadows. The reason I have the prequel in that order is because in the prequel, you get to know Selena's backstory, you get to meet a lot of characters that then reappear in Queen of Shadows, and it just makes what happens in Queen of Shadows feel a lot more real and fresh in your mind. But you also have to care about Selena first, which is why I don't start Assassin's Blade. Got it? Like, if Selena in Throne of Glass can't admit to her past, then we as readers should also be kind of suspicious of what her past looks like and what it might be. When Selena's able to confront and accept her past, I think is when we as readers should go experience her past. Hot take, but maybe, I don't know. Then Queen of Shadows, favorite 5-star book. I love that book to pieces. Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn tandem read. I know it sounds like a lot, but I promise you this is my favorite reading experience I've ever done. You tandem read that ish, okay? I promise. It's not as intimidating as it looks. It's really fun and whimsical, and you don't get left on the terrible, awful cliffhanger that is the end of Empire Storms, because then you go right into Kingdom of Ash, maybe the epic series finale that is. And it's everything you could have ever wanted in a series finale and more. So many tears. It makes all the pain of all the books before it worth it, I promise. Throne of Glass is probably your biggest commitment. But after you finish Throne of Glass, you cry, and maybe you have a couple of non-committal reads in between, you jump over to Crescent City. Crescent City 1, Crescent City 2, and then Crescent City 3, otherwise known as House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, and House of Flame and Shadow. House of Flame and Shadow is her most recent release, and I will say I thoroughly enjoyed Crescent City 1. It's very different. It takes fantasy storytelling and puts it into a more modern everyday world. Faye's wearing backwards baseball caps and having cell phones to take a little calculation of figuring out what's going on. But once I was in the fantasy universe, this is a really great story. It falls off a little bit for me in House of Flame and Shadow, but I am going to keep going. And the only semi-spoiler I am going to give, which is not a spoiler because it makes sense and also goes into what we're really the point of this video is that Sarah J. Maas is creating a Maasverse event. Think Avengers Endgame level event with all of these characters. Capiche? Essentially, we are going to be seeing more and more of the characters from these 3 series hop in and interlock with each other. And that is what I'm signed up for, baby. So, with that intro, let's chat about Sarah J. Maas's future projects. As of right now, which is, early 2026, there are 3 confirmed projects that Sarah J. Maas is currently working on. She has confirmed that she has finished ACOTAR 6. We don't have a title just yet. We don't really have a plot or a narrative or nothing, but we do know that it is going to be a more character-driven story, which leads me to a couple of thoughts, and I'll go into a couple other videos diving into these thoughts and these theories that we can chat deeper on. But really at the forefront, if we're going to be staying in Prythian, if we're going to be staying with this gangly group of characters, what stories are left to tell? We've already pretty much summed up a Feyre POV. She kind of has her happily ever after in a sense. And when I say in a sense, I mean she's gone through her character arc and she's healed and she's gone through it. Nesta has had 1 book to kind of go through it, and they ended her story with a tiny little bow. Obviously, it's not perfect. There's things we could definitely elaborate on. But the character that I want to see in ACOTAR 6 is Elaine. I want an Elaine POV so bad because I have so many unanswered questions about Elaine. And I'm going to get to that in another video. Sorry to hype it up and then just let you guys loose to dry. Sorry. I just have too many thoughts to put it all in one video, okay? The next confirmed book is going to be Crescent City 4. At least that's what we're anticipating. But to me, I'm a little confused on the prospect of getting a Crescent City 4 because House of Flame and Shadow wrapped pretty much up with a good, clean bow. I'm not quite sure what story they're going to focus on in Crescent City 4, which we're thinking is going to be House of Many Waters, because in the Crescent City universe, there are 4 houses that our beings belong to. And we've gotten each house as a book. We're just missing House of Many Waters, leading people to think it's going to be House of Many Waters. So I'm curious on where that narrative will take us. I have an idea of who could be the lead of that story. If it feels like Bryce's narrative is pretty tied up in a bow. It feels, again, things could change. We don't know. It could be another novella. It could be like a Frost and Starlight situation where we just get a cute little Hallmark fan fiction style of what's going on in Queen City. Honestly, I would love that. I would eat that up. Let me know how Bryce and Hunter are doing. I love them as a couple. That's also a hot take. I've got lots of thoughts, and in order to keep this video spoiler free, I'm going to leave it there. And the last project is an unnamed project, but we're leaning towards maybe it being ACOTAR 7, which is wild. Or is Sarah J. Maas finally getting to do a new series, Twilight of the Gods? And that's something that she's been working on. And my big question is that if she's finally going to get to do Twilight of the Gods, is that going to be the series that really ties everything together? Because we're getting bits and pieces of how the universes are kind of tiptoeing into everyone else, but we haven't gotten like a major multiverse event as we see in, I don't know, Marvel. So I wonder if Twilight of the Gods could be that multiverse event, and we have our 3 leading ladies, well, 4, maybe 5 leading ladies at this time, banding together in this book series. Or are we going to get a completely new series? Just completely off the rails of everything we've seen before? Because I would also love that from Sarah. Sarah J. Maas is now officially an author that anything she writes, I am sat and I got my popcorn and I'm just diving down, right? But I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts about what these 3 projects could be. Like I said, I'm going to have other videos where I dive into theories because y'all, I have so many thoughts on this. But I wanted to kickstart with talking about our upcoming projects and what we can look forward to as a fan base. And once again, if you haven't read any of Sarah J. Maas's book, do the reading order that I told you. Send this to your friend who's like on the fence of starting. This is their sign. They need to read ACOTAR. And more so, they need to finish all of these books, it's like what, 16, something like that, before the release of ACOTAR 6. They have time to get in on the hype and join us at the midnight premiere, ask off of work the day after it comes out, or the day it comes out, so they can just read all day, because that is what I will be doing. I did it for Onyx Storm's midnight release. I asked off the next day for work, and I read that puppy in 24 hours. Worth every minute and worth the day of PTO. Life hack. In the comments below, let me know some of your theories for where these books could go. What projects are you excited for Sarah J. Maas? And stay tuned for more deep dive theory content on this channel. It's some of my favorite content to make for you guys, and you guys seem to also really enjoy it. So let's put on our tinfoil hats, you guys, and let's go a little crazy. Got it? Got it. So like, subscribed, and I'm excited for this little deep dive we're gonna do together. And I will see you all next time, and in the meantime, happy reading.